Good morning, everyone. My name is Nadia Sobrati from Queens, New York, from createwealthwithnadia.com. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. It's actually raining here in New York. Lots of rain, but I wanted to shoot you guys a quick video, before I start my day. I'm actually finishing up this book and it's taking a lot of my time. But, I want to shoot you guys a video and I want to talk to you guys about how to become a storyteller. And this is the key to personal branding, right? So when it comes to telling your story, guys, you're going to be using your story for pretty much everything you're going to be doing online or as an entrepreneur. And actually small businesses too, they're learning how to tell their story now, because back in the old days, people used to brand their companies, right? Now, everyone is building their personal brand. It's crazy, right? How, within like a 10-year period, right? Now everyone is branding themselves because they realized how powerful it is to brand themselves than to brand their companies, right? So this is what we're going to be talking about today. So when it comes to I'm sorry guys, when it comes to telling your story, there's so much that goes into telling your story. And what I've noticed though, because I've coached a lot of people and a lot of them struggle when it comes to writing your story. And I did too. In the beginning. I remember when my sponsor sponsored me and within a couple of weeks, he's like, Nadia, you need to tell your story. And I was like, what? I didn't want the world to know who I am. I didn't want the world to know, here I am. I couldn't find a job and I was constantly going on interviews. I became severely depressed. I didn't want the world to know that, right? But when I got comfortable, I started taking little baby steps. So I would write, tell my story a little bit here and there, but not the whole story, until I became really, really comfortable in my own skin, because that's what personal branding is about, right? Personal branding is about you. You are a brand. People are going to join you because they know, like, and trust you. They're going to join you because they want to learn from you, right? They're going to join because they see you as an authority. There are a lot of reasons why people are going to join you, but when it comes to your story is your money. So it's so important that you learn how to write a compelling story that's going to motivate and inspire and captivate your audience, right? So when you're writing your story, you want to let people know, listen, I'm just like you. I've been through the struggles, I know what it is. Because guys, a lot of people, when you tell your story, you're going to inspire and captivate a lot of people, like mine has. And I didn't want the world to know, right? But you're going to be using your story for a lot of things, whether you're running Facebook ads or any type of ads, a matter of fact, right? For your blog, you're definitely going to need your story for your blog or your website. And that's going to be like a 2,000 word story, but there's a certain way that you want to write the story, right? And I will go into that, and then I'll tell you guys my story. But, there's certain ways you want to write your story, right? So you're also going to be using your story for your branding, guys. This is what people are going to know you for. Who you are, right? Who you are as a person. And people are going to know who you are as a person by you becoming vulnerable. Yeah, I can never pronounce that word correctly, but it's all good. People are going to join you because you're vulnerable. You want to be transparent. Share your life with your audience. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Share your struggles. Let them know, listen, I struggle too, and I still struggle, guys. I mean, come on. I've only been doing online marketing. Oh my gosh. October 24th will make it 3 years. But I came a long way. And the reason why I came a long way is because I learned what I needed to learn really fast, because I couldn't find a job. So I put everything I had in me to build this business, to learn as much as I could, invest as much as I could in myself. And because of all of that and my dedication is what has gotten me to this point, So I've been on the leaderboard, 10 times, a couple, like 3 different companies. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about this. So you're also going to be like, if you want to write a copy, a sales copy, right? You're going to need your story for that as well. You're also going to need your story. Let's say you have a weight loss product or a lead generation product or any kind of product, I don't know, right? Any kind of product you guys are promoting. You want to find a product, something that you like, and use it and get results. And this is how you're going to do this. You're going to be telling your story when you're promoting that product, right? So you're going to be using your story, guys, for everything, for every single thing. Like my story is, it's on LinkedIn, it's in my blog, it's in my business page. I have a bunch of different business pages on a lot of different platforms. So you're going to be using your story for everything, right? But for each category, let's say you're doing a story ad. Yes, you're going to be writing a story, but your story is going to be different from your personal branding story, right? So these stories, they're going to be different because they're going to be geared for different things. So if you are creating a story, right, for a weight loss product, what you want to do is you want to use the product, get results, take pictures of yourself, when maybe you were overweight, and then take pictures when you really started losing weight. Then you want to create a story because obviously you have achieved the results from using that product, right? Whatever it is. So what you want to do is you want to take pictures and write a story. Talk about the results. Talk about why you went on this product or why you're using this product, but without mentioning the company's name or without showing what the product is, right? Because what you're doing is actually creating a curiosity. So when you create a curiosity, you're going to have people asking for more information. And, I don't really create a lot of curiosity posts, but I do create them. Like, when I'm getting ready to launch a new opportunity or a business. But what I do is, I teach my private coaching clients and my students. I have a lot of students. So this is what I do. I teach them, how to write a compelling story. Because guys, listen to me. If your story is not compelling, guess what? No one is going to pay attention to you. People, marketers want to know, people actually want to know your struggle. They want to see you, they want to know your journey, right? So why hide it from the world? By you telling your story, by you being transparent, and by you being authentic, guess what? Your story is your money. This is what's going to make you money because you're going to be using your story for everything. Yet so many marketers are not doing storytelling. I've coached, guys, maybe close to 200 people now, or probably a little more in the past since I've been working online. But a lot of them didn't know how to write their story. And I taught a lot of them how to do that, And a lot of them actually have their stories now on their blogs and their website, and because it's important, right? So now let's talk about the different components, the different parts when you are creating this, your story, your brand, your personal branding story. Because guess what, guys? You are a brand whether you know it or not, right? Each and every one of us is a brand. And when it comes to building your personal brand, you want to be authentic. You want to be real, okay? And you want to show your audience, hey, I'm just like you, right? Now, not so many people want to see this huge mansion. Yes, all that's great, and once you build credibility and authenticity, then you know what? You could do whatever you want, right? But your audience really want to know about your struggles. They want to know how you got here, right? For me, my struggle was I couldn't find a damn job after spending over $100,000 in education, multiple degrees, graduated top of my class. I could not find a job. And when I did find a job, it was $12 an hour. Really? It's not worth it. So in my case, it actually pushed me to being where I am today, running my own business, on multiple platforms, right? And teaching and coaching, and this is what I do. But if I didn't go through the struggles of actually going, constantly applying for jobs, I spoke to all of my friends, guys. It got to a point where it was really depressing. I live in America, New York. Come on, you spend X amount of dollars on a college degree and you can't find a job? And they're telling you you're not qualified enough because you don't have 3 to 5 years experience? Guess what? I'm actually making a lot more money than these people are making right now, right? So having said that, everything happens for a reason. And now I see the reason why I couldn't find a job, even though I applied maybe 1,000 guys. I flew cross country. I flew everywhere. And it was difficult, right? So I ended up starting my own business. And I got into online marketing when I didn't even know anything about this industry. Remember, I went to school for healthcare, right? So I didn't know anything about this industry. I was desperate, and that's how I got into online marketing. But let's talk about how to write your story, and then I'm going to tell you my story. And I'm going to start from the beginning on where I stand now, right? So when you're writing your story, there are 3 different parts. childhood, adolescent, and adult, right? You're going to categorize them like that. And in my book, The Attractive Character, I talked about all the different components and how to become an attractive character, right? Because once you are an attractive character, you are becoming someone different, but you are the same person, right? Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but in my book, I talk about different types of leadership and stuff like that. But I'm going to be releasing that in 4 weeks when I launch my store to the public. The store is not launched to the public yet. I have my store. I launched it, but it's in a different platform in my own bookstore. So I have like probably 6 books up right now, and I'm actually getting sales. But I'm going to be launching it in 4 weeks because I'm writing a few more books. And then I'm going to launch it, but I want to build the store to like having a lot of books. When it comes specific to my niche, because a lot of people can actually learn from me, and everything that I'm writing about is everything that I've actually done, trainings, so these are the type of books I'm writing now. All right, guys. So childhood, you're going to talk about your childhood. So you're going to talk about your childhood, talk a little bit about what was it like growing up. Did you have both parents? How many siblings do you have, right? Then you're going to talk about your education. So whether you went to high school, college, trade school, whatever it is, maybe you went to personal branding school, network marketing school. I've been to both, But, guys, these are the things you want to make sure you have in your story, right? Then you want to have a list of jobs without listing all of them, right? And then you want to have 5 defining moments. I only have 2 defining moments in my 2,000 word story because I'm still adding more as I go along, so I only have 2 defining moments that actually changed my life, so and then where you stand today. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections. And remember, guys, as you start building your personal brand and you start getting more experience in this online marketing industry, your story is going to be changing. Your story is going to be changing all the time, but not, like your childhood, education, list of jobs, defining moments. Yeah, maybe your defining moments might change a little bit. I still need to get 3 more. I only have 2. And then where you stand today, right? So now let's jump right into story. Let me tell you my story, and I'm sure a lot of you are actually waiting to find out who is Nadia, right? So let's jump right into my story. So my name is Nadia Sobrati, and I was raised in a small island called Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, it's in the Caribbean. I have 3 younger siblings. My parents got divorced when I was 13 years old, and my mother moved to New York. And when I was 16, she actually moved all 4 of us. She got us a green card, actually. Yeah. So I was 16 years old. I'm 45 now. I keep forgetting how old I am. So, we moved to New York, and my mother struggled. She struggled. She had numerous part-time jobs. She worked at a college. She's actually still working. She doesn't need to work, but she's still working now. I guess she likes to work. My dad is in Trinidad. He never came with us to the United States. He didn't like the cold weather. He likes being in the Caribbean, so my dad is there. And, when I was 16 years old, I had my first job at a restaurant, and I did that over the summer. Then I went back to school. At the age of 19 years old, I started college. I went to college to study accounting and information systems, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to study, so I went into accounting. And, after completing, well, actually, I didn't completed that degree. What happened was I dropped out of school twice, and I got kicked out. Yeah, this is part of the story I left out that I really need to add into my website. I just didn't want the world to know, but it really doesn't matter because a lot of years have passed and I've accomplished a lot, So I actually dropped out. I dropped out of high school. I dropped out of, college twice. But then I went back and I finished up that degree. And then I went to another school. Then actually I was a loan officer, so I did mortgages for a lot of years. And then the housing bubble burst, in the mortgage industry, and I wasn't making any money because I was working strictly commissions. So what happened was, I quit and I started back bartending. And actually, no. Actually, when when I started doing mortgages, I did that for a year. And then after I did that for a year, then I met my ex-fiance and we got married. So I was 26 years old when I got married. There were a lot of issues in the marriage, extramarital affairs, that he was, he's a doctor, laparoscopic surgeon. And there was a lot of issues. So after several months of marriage counseling, I threw the towels in. I said, I am done. And this was, the second time I filed for divorce. The first time I filed for divorce, I couldn't find him to have him serve the divorce papers because he didn't want the divorce. I wanted the divorce. I was like, I'm done with you, And so we were actually separated for 5 years. So when I filed divorce the second time, he signed the papers because I said, listen, I don't want anything from you. I said, you can keep it all, and he's well off. He's a doctor, had a bunch of medical offices. But I didn't want anything. All I wanted was a divorce, So I got divorced. And then I went back. Actually, that marriage led me to substance abuse, drinking, partying, the depression from the marriage. It was bad, guys. That was like the worst time of my life. The worst time. I lost a lot of weight. So that marriage did a number on me. And anyway, I filed for divorce, got divorced, and then I went back to work as a loan officer. So in 2008, the housing bubble burst, and then when the housing bubble burst, I wasn't making any money. So I decided to go back to bartending. I didn't want to do accounting, guys. My friends, they have a lot of food companies, import-export companies, and they're like, if you want to do accounting, you can come work with us. I did that for a little while. I didn't like it. It's not my thing to sit behind a computer and deal with numbers all day, even though I'm sitting behind a computer, but I'm creating my own products now, So I went back to being a bartender, and after the first month of bartending, I met my ex-fiance. He's only 4 years older than me, and I was young. I think I was 31 at the time, and he was like 35. And we got together. Within 3 months, we got engaged, moved in together. We were together for 9 years. But during that time when we were together, I didn't work because we traveled a lot. I didn't work. I didn't have to work, and he liked diving, so I would go with him whenever he would go diving or whatever. And we both loved traveling, so we had like that in common. Like we would travel like so much. So like for the first 3 years of our relationship, that's all what we did, right? So after that, I decided I want to go back to school. So I went back to school because I always had a thing for healthcare. So I went back to school, got a degree in health information technology. I became certified as a certified medical billing and coding specialist. Then I went to another school and I got a bachelor's degree in public health. And I became a certified court-appointed guardian. So after that, I got an internship where I was treating patients with HIV, sexually transmitted diseases, and hepatitis C infections. I was also doing, physical examinations, different drug treatment. I was counseling patients and all of this stuff. But, after I finished my internship, because of my girlfriend, I was able to get the job because she knew the doctor very well, and the doctor liked me, and he was like, all right, so I got the job. But then guess what? They cut funding for public health. So here I am, over $100,000 in debt. This was like about 3 years ago. Yeah, well, I finished school, I think like about 6 years ago, something like that. But what happened was, guys, I couldn't find a job. So after they cut funding for public health, I'm like, what am I going to do? So I decided to go back to school because that's what they tell you. That's what everyone tells you. Oh, keep getting higher degrees, you're going to get your dream job. Guys, it doesn't get any better than this. I graduated top of my class, summa cum laude. That's the highest Latin honors you can get. Straight A student. My walls are full with certificates, and I couldn't get a job. So I actually went to a staffing agency, and the woman looked at me and she goes, why didn't you go to NYU? Like, my grades wasn't good enough. It doesn't get any better than this, like, really. So I became severely depressed, and I was applying for a lot of jobs, and I got an interview with DirecTV. I went to DirecTV, and I was desperate, guys. I was desperate, So I went to DirecTV, and I got the job, and they were paying, $12.50 an hour? I took it. That's the lowest amount of money I've ever worked in my life. Okay? I did mortgages, and I was making a lot of money. I was living really well, when I was like 31, 32 years old. And then here I am working at a job for $12 an hour, and no one wants to hire me because there's a big gap in my resume. Even though I was in school for so many years, after I got out of school. I couldn't find a job. Well, after I worked at a clinic, they cut funding. I couldn't find a job. So whenever I would go on job interviews, they would say to me, well, why is there a big gap in your resume? Like, seriously? The way I look at it, when it comes to education, guys, as long as you know how to read and write well, I think that's what you really need. Because a lot of these things that I studied in school, chemistry, biochemistry, all these tough classes, calculus, I'm not using any of that. Right? So what happened was I quit working at DirecTV, and then, it was, well, no, before I quit working at DirecTV, I actually went back to school to study a double master's in acupuncture and oriental medicine. So during that time, I was looking for a job still couldn't find anything, because employers want you to have 3 to 5 years experience. Where are you going to find 3 years experience? Where? If no one wants to hire you. It doesn't matter if you have 1 year experience or 2 year experience. Where no one wants to hire you unless you have 3 to 5 years experience. And even then, they pay you shitty money. Seriously, even then you're probably making like what, $15 an hour? I have friends who are holding PhDs. You know what they're making, guys? $12.50 an hour. They're working at Home Depot. They're working at all these little places. It doesn't even require a degree because they cannot find something in their line of work. So what happened was, I became severely depressed. And one day I was on Facebook, and I saw someone who was telling his story, guys. I had no idea what was attraction marketing. I had no idea that people even market on Facebook. Had no idea. So we talked for about 3 hours. He showed me, I told him, okay, I want to get started, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I need something where I can work my way up from the bottom and work my way up, right? So he showed me a training platform that was $150 a month. I stayed with that company for 16 months. I built that company, hit the leadership ranks in that company too. But the thing is, I joined him even though I had no idea what I was doing, right? So when he showed me his back office and I joined, I went in like, for the first 6 months, I recruited like 3 people, but I knew it was a learning curve. I knew that I had to really like learn as much as I can because this is a tough industry. Not everyone makes money. I think like 1%? 1% like makes money or make money or whatever, something like that. The rest of the people don't. This is tough. This is because a lot of people don't want to invest in themselves. For me, I never thought money was an issue, even though I was struggling financially. I stopped going out. I started saving that money. I stopped going out. I started investing it back into my business, right? Then I joined another opportunity, but I didn't really start making money until I met Mark Lalone. And I met Mark about 1.5 years, actually 2 years, I think, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, maybe over 2 years now. So he had just launched Twitter Lead Machine, and my friend, I was trying to build my audience on Twitter. So my friend, she sent me a free course. I took the course and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, because I was following tons and tons of people, and a lot of people no one was following me back. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing something wrong. So I took the free course, and then I purchased the Twitter Lead Machine. That weekend, I sold a lot of courses. And that was when I first started making money. So it was like really 6 months in, right? 6 months in, I started making money, and that's when I started hitting the leadership ranks. I hit the leadership ranks in MLSP, one of my network marketing company. I hit it in another network marketing company recently, and in Branding University. So I think it's like 4 different companies. I hit 10 leadership ranks or something like that. But anyway, guys, so when I met Mark Lalone was when I started making money. He was the first person I started making money with. Then I joined him on another company. I hit 4 leadership ranks in that company within 12 weeks. I recruited 90 people and built a team of over 1,000. Yeah, so that was residual money coming in that I didn't really have to worry about that anymore, And then after that, Mark Lalone and we launched a 5-starter mentorship program where we had over 1,000 people who have applied to work with us, and we only accepted 100. And that was a major success. Actually, that actually gave me more exposure. Then when I earned a cruise and the bonus, I went to the Bahamas on the leadership cruise. I met all the top leaders. I was actually interviewed with the 6- and 7-figure earners, and I'm also in a commercial. So yeah, you know, it's like things happen for me really fast because I was so dedicated and focused, guys, like I am now. Like I'm a workaholic, and this is what it takes, you know. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So where I stand today, right? Where I stand today, well, I'm creating my own products. I'm creating my own products now, writing my own books. This is why I haven't been on social media much, because it's, you know, when you're writing books, guys, for your brand, you want to write books in your own words. And this is how people are going to relate to you. You know what I mean? So this takes time. It takes a lot of time writing a book. I'm writing book number 7 now, but I think I should probably have that done by next week. It's probably going to be 100 pages. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you all. So I want to say thank you all for joining me. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. And if you need anything, send me a message on Messenger, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you guys, okay? So enjoy the rest of your day. I love you. Bye, everyone.